Hi guys, Yacca here. So I'd like to do a deck showcase, a kind of an introduction to one of the decks that I'm playing a lot at the moment, trying to climb to Legend. Right now I'm at Diamond 2, and you will see both. I'll show you a couple of games, also because they are rather fast. One where I actually will be presenting to you guys how to lose, I guess, with the Demon Hunter, what you need to be aware of, and what you need to avoid in order to try and avoid losing with the Demon Hunter. And also, of course, a game where a few games where we actually manage to defeat the opponent, and you'll be able to see that game plan take effect of what the Demon Hunter will do. Generally, around the Demon Hunter, it is a really aggressive deck. So it is something where you are fast on the board. It's the majority of the damage that you will give to your opponent will be through a board-based combat. So you'll throw minions on the board and they will pound face. You'll use yourself, your hero power and your weapons to control the board, remove your opponent's minions. So that's the general game plan in it. You do have a bunch of burst damage. You have generally in the deck there's a lot of there's a few legendaries in here first off. But for instance, Altruist the Outcast, that's part of the Initiate set, and if you play through the introduction, you'll actually get this one for free. But there are two other legendaries that I am that really supports the deck a lot, and that's Kayn Sunfury and also Metamorphosis. Essentially, you convert your hero power into a 5 damage ping, and that is many times the final reach that you get. There might be at that point at turn 6 or 7 where your opponent drops like a big taunt and you need to push through that one, or it's a taunt with Death Rattle that heals or something like that. But instead you can then drop Metamorphosis and then just ping face for the last 5 points of damage. This is a game plan that I've used over a course of several games to actually push for the final blow. But also supporting that is Kayn Sunfury completely ignoring the taunt minion that is in the way. And if you do have a good board set up against your opponent, then that's actually way more damage than you'll be able to push with the Metamorphosis. Around the cost of the deck, if you disregard the base set Demon Hunter cards and also what you get in the Initiate set, which you get from completing the Prelude for Illidan, then the cost, even with the two legendaries, is 4,840 dust if you need to craft everything, if you don't have any of the other cards open through card packs or whatever might be the case. It is not one of the most expensive decks, but 3,200 out of the 4,840 dust is the two legendaries. So they are really pricey, and I will eventually try and give you a deck a little bit more budget and show you some substitutions for those two cards. Generally around the win rate, I would like to accredit the deck in itself was actually created by Tyler. I've seen him finish in Europe as rank 1 legend before, and right now, from what I've seen just before recording this video, he's in top 10 legend right now, playing with this exact deck that I am about to showcase for you guys. What do you want to keep in the mulligan, in the starting phase? That's also something you have to consider, because I've been talking a lot about the good cards, but generally you want to be able to keep the cards that are cheap. You need to be on the board fast, and that's actually only two cards that you really want to keep if you do have them or want to mulligan for, and that is Battle Fiend. That's the best card, and also Blazing Battle Mage. But there are other things as well. So those are definite keeps, but also Umberwing, which is this cheap weapon that actually also spawns 2 1/1 minions on the board. It's also a keep each and every time. Then you can consider keeping Crimson Sigil Runner, but only if it is in this Outcast position. Outcast is a new keyword that you need to learn playing with the Demon Hunter, and this is if you are in your hand, you have it in your left or rightmost position. But when you are doing the mulligan phase, you can't consider Crimson Sigil Runner as being part of the right hand side, because you'll draw a card, and the only card that you can draw which will still leave the Crimson Sigil Runner active would be the Twin Slice, the 0 mana card, because then you'll throw both of them and then your Sigil Runner, but there's no guarantee that you'll draw that. That's actually very unlikely that you'll draw that. So you only ever keep Crimson Sigil Runner if it is in the very left position of your starting hand. So those are the mulligans that you want to go for. If you do have a 1-drop, you also want to keep your Frenzied Fellwing, because that is easily discounted to 0, and then you'll just drop that on the board. There are, and that's the general game plan. Those are the cards that you want to keep, and then you'll just make sure, don't try to hold on to resources, just throw everything on the board, because eventually you will draw into your Skull of Gul'dan. Skull of Gul'dan will let you replenish your hand really easy, and you'll be able to continue pushing the board, pushing face. What you want to achieve is that between turns 6 and 8, that's actually where you want to be pushing for lethal. Because if you do go further than this, then your opponent, if it is a control deck, they'll have the resources, they'll have grinded the board down in a way that you can't come back. And therefore your game plan is really aggressive to the face, but do a certain amount of board control, especially using your face, because your life total is really just a resource in order to manage the board. You are not too concerned about facing another aggressive player, because this is the aggressive deck as it is, and you do have board control, a board control feature through using your face, even more, for instance, than the Hunter does. That is only face damage. The Hunter hero power only ever goes face, unless there is a card that lets you target, but that's another story. Whereas you as the Demon Hunter have a very cheap hero power that is easy to activate and easy to use to control the board. I think that is enough said, and we will jump into some gameplay, where we will go through some of the matches that I mentioned to you guys. I hope I have brought to you kind of the general theme around the deck, and the feel of it, and I'll hope to do it justice with some of the matches that you will be seeing right now. So let's jump right ahead into it.
Illidan versus Illidan.
It's the same.
This ends now. You dare speak to me?
It's the same mulligan idea behind Demon Hunter as it is with each and every one. But one card that is performing really well is Altruis, the Outcast. Actually so well that I might want to consider keeping it in the opening hand if I do have a Battle Fiend or Blazing Battle Mage. But right now I just want to do a mulligan for my 1-drops. Frenzied Fellwing is really good. But other than that, it's nothing too crazy here. Yeah, it's not the best of starts. I might be able to
They
slow
will
him
never
down
catch
if
me.
he only hero powers. But an Umberwing, that would be really bad. Twin Slice right now, then I will be very much in it. Altruist. It's definitely one of the cards that I wanted to go for. I don't think I can do too much here. It's a bit dangerous, but I want to do a preemptive hit on that one because then I can protect the Satyr on the next turn.
They will never catch me.
Those without eyes truly see.
Twin Slice would be really good because then I can clear the board. Mowing. I still think that's actually what I want to do. I want to challenge the board.
Vengeance is mine!
Can we do that? Oh, he's got one of those.
Burn away to ash!
Right.
Vengeance is mine!
Push. Swing the board back in my favor. He has a bunch of burst damage, that's for sure, but again, it's kind of slowly building. That's kind of the idea behind it. So what does he have? A glaive bound adept? Maybe. It seems like it.
Our enemies will
There we
fall.
This is definitely way too much damage.
Demons?
Beam?
Demons.
Beam and hit. I'll take 4 points of damage. I'll go to 7. Ooh, this is dangerous, but I need to get rid of that.
Vengeance is mine!
This is more of an example of me not being able to get on the board and staying there. There's so many chances that I know he has another Twin Slice. That's his turn 5 card. So he has 2 points of damage in hand.
Now I am
5,
complete!
6. Okay. And I don't really have a way of healing here.
Demons? Demons.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is guaranteed.
Vengeance is mine!
I know he has the 1 damage in hand, though he also has his hero power, which is 5 direct damage. There's no way I'm getting out of this. So. This is an example of who actually gets to own the ball. He had it all at the very beginning, even though I was trying to contest it. He had it all along, and I didn't manage to win it back, and therefore I didn't win. Alright, another demon hunter.
This ends now! You dare speak to me?
When you do have a curve, going first isn't all that bad. The 1 extra damage is good enough, but not really all that necessary because there's no targets that you really want to remove. Unless you get to the later points of the game where you want to could remove a Glade-bound Adept. I think this is actually fine enough. Because I want the placing Battle Mage, I'm not throwing back the Furious Felfin in order to try and find an Umber Wing or something like that. We'll just do that. Metamorphosis. It is a bit early for that. There we go. That's a bunch of damage if he does not manage to take care of it. He needs a double twin. Oh, he needs a twin slice. I get the twin slice. Then he's more or less done for now, I think. I can do this. Hero power and 1 of the slices.
Vengeance is mine!
Clear his minion. Next turn I can hero power drop the Furious Felfin. Potentially clearing anything he might have there. I can even drop a Blazing Battle Mage. I think that's actually good enough. Yeah. Order is really important because you need to drop this first before you attack. But for the Furious Felfin you need to attack before you drop it. And then I want to drop the Blazing Battle Mage as well. And even though you're actually that you empty your hand for resources, eventually you'll draw into your Skull of Gul'dan, or you'll just be able to play whatever you draw and it will have the outcast ability. I think I've seen many actually play with this questing adventure, and against the demon hunter is simply just not strong enough to win. But I will do the trade here, just because, again, remember the order, drop the single first. We'll get rid of it, just because there is a chance that it might actually pop off and be a really big minion that you can't deal with. But right now it's just lethal on board.
Hide behind yourselves. I will still
use
find you.
as a way of clearing. So what do we have? Like 7, 8, 9. I can put him to 1. I think Cairn is better to clear. Well, not really, right? Because if I put him to 1, then he needs to I-beam. And that will only put him to 4. Then I can do the Metamorphosis.
Vengeance is mine! On your knees!
And still win, even though, well, he's not going to be able to put up a taunt or anything like that.
I yield.
Yeah, there we go.
For now.
This game, I got bored when we didn't manage to stick a minion there. It's really in the matchups between the demon hunters. That's really a game plan. Be aggressive, yes, but you cannot ignore the board. There's other matchups where you want to do that, definitely. But that is the strength of the demon hunter. You control the board with your face, and then your minions pound face, so it's just a really aggressive game plan that you have. But you need to be able to, at least in the mirror matches, to keep board control, because if you do manage to do that, then that's the way that you win, because it's through minion damage that you actually push face. So that's why it's so important. Also why it's important to keep Altruist the outcast in a few of the matchups, especially against Demon Hunter.
Illidan versus Malfurion.
You have much to answer for.
Hey.
It isn't over between us,
It's
brother.
my brother. Okay, so right now, with the hand that I have, I want to do a full mulligan for 1-drops. I want my Battle Fiends, Blazing Battle Mage, or my Umbowing. Most likely, in the meta as it is, this is going to be a Spell Mage or a Big Druid. What is equal between the two Druid classes is that you're a favorite, that's one thing, but also that you really need to start pounding face fast and aggressively. So having a 1-drop is really good. This, even Crimson Sigil Runner, you'll always want to keep that if it is in the outcast to the left position. So, cards, drawing cards, that's really not what you want to do in this match. You want to stop pushing the face damage, because he will have healing, and you're the one that needs to rush. I'll see if I have a Twin Slice for activating the Glaive Bound Adept. So on turn 4, I'll be able to get that out on the board and deal 4 damage. Turn for him. Let's see, I need to get this Furious Velvet. That's great, because that will leave a rather strong minion. And next turn I can coin. I need to remember to Twin Slice first, and then coin the Glaive Bound Adept. This one you need to hit first,
is mine.
and then you get the other stuff. I really want to have him contesting the board here. Therefore, you want to use Twin Slice twice for you to be able to clear that minion. And here, remember, if your hero attack this turn, so you need to attack first. Doesn't matter if it's face or the minion. Then we push face damage. And he's hard. There is answers, but it usually requires more than one card for your opponent to actually do something about this. And right now, that is a bunch of damage, but he needs to find lethal right now. If not, then I'm actually pushing for it. And he needs to have overflow exactly. Because I can actually push a bunch of damage. I have 11, 12, another 2 here, 14, 15, and then I can Spectral Sight, because it'll be an outcast's position. So we'll just push the face damage right now. Altruist could be good in this position.
I see.
Draw first.
Time grows short. Vengeance is mine.
So we'll put him to. So even if he taunts up, that's usually his game plan here. I can drop the Metamorphosis and then ping his face for 5 damage. What does he find? Does he have it? I don't think so, right? 9, 16, 26. He's 1 off actually. Well, actually closer than I would have liked, but we got there.
Now I am complete.
You really have to be cautious about it, and I wasn't cautious enough there, but I should have made sure to count what could he actually do. I was thinking more about the heal approach that you wanted to push for overflow, but they can push out a lot of damage if you leave a board like that. I had enough life left, but only to the single point of health. So that's really important to take that into consideration. But that's how it works. So Demon Hunter is really doing great at the moment, and let's see if we can manage to push for Legend. But I'll leave you with this. If this is something that you like, hit the thumbs up. It's a good deck to climb with at the moment. Might be more nerfs incoming, but you can actually get a really good deck with a somewhat low investment. But be cautious about it, because there will probably be some kind of impact to this deck, and it might not be the hard investments that you make in the legendaries. So I'll be making another video at some point where I'll try to present some substitutions for the high impact cards, the dust heavy cards that I do have in the deck. But leave a like, that really helps me out. If you have any comments, just throw them in there. I'll do my best to have a look at them. And see you next time.